Bobcat TV. It's a special broadcast tonight for us from Seneca High School as we are here at Warren Ballpark, the historic home of the Bisbee Pumas. The Pumas coming in at 1-1 on the season, taking on the Benson Bobcats at 2-1 on the year. And we are about ready to go down on the field here in just a moment with Bailey Irwin. But we are very excited here for this matchup here. And let's go down to Bailey Irwin.
Okay, hold on.
With Bailey Irwin in just a moment. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we'll go back again for that pregame report from her. Joining us tonight on the broadcast, I'm Jason Miller, along with Hunter Waite, a senior from Seneca High School. Again, a special broadcast from Bobcat TV from Vail, Arizona, down here in Bisbee, the home of the Pumas at historic Warren Ballpark. Hunter, what are we expecting tonight?
I'm expecting a very close game. You can tell that there's a lot of tension between these two teams, as you could see some talking before the game. It's really nice weather out here. You know, you like the atmosphere. You see the fans of the Pumas and the family out here to support their players as they get ready to play. We got about a minute 45 before kickoff.
You see the referees there at midfield here. Again, Warren Ballpark is the historic venue. This ballpark was built and erected in 1909, restored in 1939, and oh, by the way, Babe Ruth played here.
Babe Ruth, that is a pretty big name, if I do say so. And he actually, you know, they like to talk about how he did hit a home run, which if you look at this field, that's about 2 baseball fields out of the park.
He did, and we're going to go back down on the field here with Bailey Irwin with her report.
Full 73 degrees here in breezy in Bisbee. Benson and Bisbee are both coming off a loss. Benson to their rival Wilcox and Bisbee to Douglas. Both teams are looking to rebound tonight. Bisbee will be running the ball as they are a relatively younger team looking to find their identity. Benson will be running a more balanced offense as they are an older, more experienced team. Benson will be relying on quarterback Dalton Crockett. He's an everyman. He leads kickoff, he's a punter, and he's their quarterback. He'll be looking for Aiden Finch as his receiver tonight. Back to you.
All right, very good. That one came through, I think, clear as a bell. So I want to give some credit there to one of the seniors, one of our reporters, Bailey Irwin, and her pregame report. She's down there with one of our sophomores, Samantha Chufo-Knoll. Also have Ben Gonzalez down on the field. Nick Irvin is our director with Bobcat TV. We've got Kirsten Larson, who is running graphics. And we have Dakota Nettles, who is our audio engineer, also doing switching for us tonight. I'm Jason Miller, and Hunter Waite is here as well. We also have Jessica Schoonover running another camera, and Nick Powell, who's running our camera here at the catbird seat here, right at midfield. Captains coming out for both teams right now. So for Bisbee, number 3, number 4, number 14, and number 66. So number 3 is Sebastian Lopez, the sophomore quarterback. Number 4, Diego Chavez, the senior running back. Number 14, David Chapman, the junior wide receiver and running back. And number 66, Luis Valdez. Don't have a year on him, but I will check my roster in just a moment. And he is an offensive and defensive lineman. And then captains for the Bobcats of Benson High School. Number 9 is the quarterback, the junior Dalton Crockett. Number 11, the senior wide receiver, Aiden Finch. Number 59, the senior offensive and defensive lineman, Adrian Evans. And there's one more Bobcat out there who we will see in just a moment, is number 52. And that is Ryan Anderson, a senior offensive and defensive lineman. So Bisbee here has elected to receive the opening kickoff. The Pumas are in pewter and red. The uniform is very reminiscent of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've got the red helmets. They'll be receiving to our left and going from left to right. The Bobcats of Benson High School are in white jerseys, white pants, red helmets, red, white, and blue. A little bit of blue accent there on the shoulder pads. They'll be kicking off from the right to the left end zone here. All right, Hunter, we got cut off there a little bit about Babe Ruth, but you were talking about he hit a home run over the grandstand where we're sitting right now. So a drive estimated at probably upwards of 400, probably 500 feet.
500 feet easily.
A Ruthian blast.
This is not only a baseball field over there, but a whole football field.
Beautiful.
And the stands. That is.
And I love natural grass, right? So I always prefer to play a football game on natural grass. We have a couple of returners back here for Bisbee. Number 14, David Chapman, one of the captains, the junior wide receiver, set to return. Up in front of him is number 5, Michael Coronado, the sophomore. So both players to look out for. Handling the kickoff responsibilities for the Benson Bobcats, number 9, Dalton Crockett, who is their starting quarterback. He does a little bit of everything. He'll handle kickoffs, punting. He also plays defensive back as a safety and is a dual threat quarterback who can run and throw the football. So a player to look out for here tonight. Both teams coming off of losses, so both squads are going to be a little bit thirsty here coming into tonight's game. The Pumas, they are 1-1. They beat Santa Cruz Valley in week 1 and fell to Douglas last week 10-8. Bit of a squib kick here, deflected off of a player, a second player here, and a third one, and a scrum for the football around the 25-yard line. You have a Benson player streaking to the sideline here, indicating that Benson has the football, and indeed they do. So in an unfortunate series of events there on that squib kick where it deflected off of one Puma and then off of another, a third one tried to smother it, and somehow Benson comes up with the football with great field position.
It's very unfortunate to start a game off with a mistake like that, but they're just going to have to recover.
All right, starters here tonight for Benson. Going left to right on the offensive line. It'll be B.J. Essenmacher at left tackle, number 65, the junior. At left guard, Ryan Anderson, number 52, the senior. And we'll get to the rest of that line in just a moment here. Dalton Crockett, number 9, is the quarterback in the pistol. And Colton Tyra, number 21, on the handoff. Very little gain. Rest of the offensive line. Colton Pullis, number 57, is the senior at center. Number 59, Adrian Evans, is at right guard. He's a senior. And number 50, Sam Martin, is at right tackle. Aiden Finch, number 11, the wide receiver to look out for, a senior at 6'3". Dalton Crockett at quarterback. Colton Tyra, number 21, at running back. Flint Davis will also spell in at running back. And out at wide receiver to the far side, number 13, Gavin Strauss, a junior. Second down and 10. Crockett in the pistol, play action. And it's a delayed screen here. Colton Tyra gets the ball. Tyra with room to go, close to the first down marker. Good tackle there out in space. Hard to see who that player is defensively. It's number 3, and that is Sebastian Lopez. So good tackle there by Lopez, but a nice job there on the screen. Good reception by Tyra to catch that, run, and plunge for the first down.
First and 10 for the Bobcats on the Bisbee 12.
Tyra averaging 4.5 yards per carry and a pair of touchdowns on the season. Also a threat there out of the backfield to receive the ball. Handoff goes to Tyra. He is smothered there behind the line of scrimmage.
Nowhere.
Great penetration.
As that line collapses instantly. A player to look out for here, number 4, Diego Chavez, as he leads the Pumas here in tackles with 22 on the season.
Don't have a player rostered here for number 60 from Bisbee. We'll try to identify who that player is. Again, it's second down and 14. The Benson Bobcats with a football. And the ball is at the 18-yard line. Second down and 14 to go. Dalton Crockett. Play action keeps it here. Now bootleg coming to the near side. A big quarterback there. And it took just about everything by that defensive back to bring him down. The tackle on the play by DJ Workman at outside linebacker. Workman is a junior, 6'1", 170. But you see Dalton Crockett there is a big target at 6'2", 190 pounds.
And that was a really good play there. You saw they did the play action because they saw the blitz coming up the middle, so they were able to take that option. Quarterback kept him himself. He got a good gain.
Actually, 7 from Bisbee is Juan Pablo Navarro, the junior defensive back, 5'10", 145. So 3rd down and 8 yards to go. And we have a flag down here. We'll see what the penalty is. And that flag was thrown by the head linesman here, who's near side along the sideline. And you have a referee coming from across the way, just conferring with the head linesman just for a moment, and the umpire who spots and places the football down. Offsides going against Bisbee. So a 5-yard penalty will make it 3rd down and 3. Much more manageable here for Benson, looking at 3 yards versus 8 yards. Tight formation. Dalton Crockett rolling to his right. Looking end zone here. Now he tucks the ball, lowers the shoulder. Again, a big quarterback there at 6'2", maybe 6'3", 190. And Hunter Waite, I shook hands with him pregame, just wished him luck here. His grip was so strong, I just tried to grin it out and just pretend it wasn't affecting me. But he is a big, strong physical specimen. Again, he handles kickoffs, punting, quarterbacking, and plays at the strong safety position. So a physically imposing quarterback at 6'3".
Oh yeah, and way to use his physical capabilities to get those 3 yards, putting his shoulder down. That's very needed.
We've got 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Handoff, Colton Tyra. Tyra in there for a touchdown.
Touchdown, Bobcats. Handoff to 21.
That was a good play. He was able to keep his balance off that first tackle, reaching in for the end zone.
Extra point here is up, and the kick is good. So the kicker is just a freshman, number 5, Dawson Judd. He's now 5 for 9 on the season on extra points, but a very methodical offensive possession there for Benson. Of course, getting the fortuitous recovery on the kickoff, the opening kickoff of the game, that was difficult for Bisbee to field. And you see again that turnover kind of paying dividends early here.
And as you take a look, you could actually see that it's really interesting. This historic field, the goalposts are actually very old-fashioned.
Yes, you noticed that pregame.
Yeah, very wide with the short uprights. It's interesting.
So Colton Tyra, 1 yard on the touchdown plunge. And for him, it's touchdown number 3 on the season. And the Bobcats getting set to kick off for the 2nd time. And it will be their quarterback, Dalton Crockett, just a junior, number 9. Good start here for Coach Dustin Clough in year number 1 for Benson. Again, coming off of a difficult loss, 56-25 last week against a rival Wilcox. This one fielded cleanly at about the 25. And the returner gets across to the 33-yard line, where the Bisbee Pumas will take over 1st and 10. Good return there by number 43. I think it was 43 on the return. Again, I don't have 43 listed on my roster, so I'm going to try to figure this out in real time. But good field position here for the Pumas of Bisbee High School. Again, the Pumas going left to right. The pewter jerseys, pewter pants, and the red helmets. The Benson Bobcats in white pants, white jerseys, red hats. Quarterback here, great bootleg, room to go, now cuts it inside. There's a marker down, but a great run here across to the 40-yard line. We have a holding call here, and that one's coming back. So the Puma faithful here, very excited about that. You can see the good wheels there by Sebastian Lopez, the sophomore quarterback, coming into the game here tonight, averaging 6.2 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns on the season. And Hunter Waite, this is a team in Bisbee, the Pumas, who love to run the football.
Oh, yeah, and it's heartbreaking to see a run like that get taken back. But what a display of the wheels there, able to beat the man to the outside to get the big gain.
And he was trying to cut it back into the center of the field. He just had one person to beat. But again, that one coming back. So it'll make it 1st down and 20.
1st and 20.
The ball is placed at the 24-yard line. Pretty stacked box here for the Benson Bobcats defensively. It's going to be a bootleg going to the left side. Another solid run. Looks about 5, maybe 6 yards on the carry by Sebastian Lopez. So some old school power football here. A bit of a bootleg to the near side and then a bootleg to the far side.
And that was a good play by the defense.
Right, to string it out, right? So just going laterally across the field. Some good quickness there. A lot of these players from both schools will play both offensive and defensive positions. And some of these cats on both sides will also play on special teams. 2nd and 15. Handoff to the middle, and it's snuffed very quickly. Number 28, Tristan Goodwin, the junior linebacker from Benson, was there at the line of scrimmage to make that tackle.
Now I would imagine that there is no other choice but to pass the ball here.
Right, and again, we're looking at a quarterback here in Sebastian Lopez with just 7 pass attempts on the season between those first 2 games. So 3 for 7, 64 yards, 1 interception, quarterback rating of 36.3. We've seen his wheels already, so very effective as a scrambler and runner, averaging 6.2 yards per carry. 3rd down and 11 to go. Opening quarter, Benson on top, 7-0. And you see their offsides by the defensive front. A couple of those defensive linemen there couldn't kind of hold it on a bit of a hard snap count. So it'll make it 3rd down and 7.
Now that makes this 3rd down a lot more manageable. And it honestly gives the offense a lot more options to work with.
Definitely some intermediate or some short passing routes. Much more attainable distance here at 3rd and 7. Let's see what head coach Brian Vertrees draws up here for the Pumas of Bisbee. Handoff, left side. Great tackle there. Actually, to the far side, so a good fake there by the quarterback, who picks up about 19 yards on the carry. I was faked out by what I thought was an interior run there, and then another bootleg going to the far side. So the bootlegs here are working early, and Sebastian Lopez, again, the quickness, the speed, the wheels, and the deceptiveness there on that little play fake to bootleg it to the far side.
And that was a great run by him. A great move to get the linebacker off of him to get the conversion that was really needed.
Yeah, a big boost here for the home crowd, the Pumas of Bisbee.
They're marching down the field to hopefully make up for the mistake at the beginning of the game.
1st and 10 at the 45 of Benson. Handoff goes to the right side on the carry. It's Diego Chavez. Chavez, a senior running back. Chavez on the season, that's carry number 36 for him. He's got 204 yards, averaging 5.8 yards per carry. And he's 5'10", 196. So 2nd down and 9. 5:30 on the clock here in the 1st quarter. Again, it was Benson recovering the opening kickoff, and they had a very short march down the field, about 30 yards, capped by a Colton Tyra 1-yard touchdown plunge. Quarterback here goes near side. Threads his way through, now cuts it back beautifully. Up the middle of the field, great blocking downfield. And it is a touchdown. 45 yards on the touchdown run by Sebastian Lopez.
An incredible spin to fake out both defenders, cutting it to the other side for the touchdown, looking like Lamar Jackson on the field.
Very much so. But a great cut there, right? He could have gone in any directions at the middle of the field and just decided to cut it far side. Beautifully, got a great block downfield. I did not identify the Puma who was there springing him, but it's 45 yards for Sebastian Lopez. And we'll see what the Pumas want to do here. Looks like they're going to go for 2. So Lopez under center will hold on to the football here, and the conversion is no good. But just like that. It was a 45-yard touchdown run. Sebastian Lopez flashing off, well, his vision there midfield, cutting it to the far corner. Had a great block downfield by his wide receiver, I think, who sprung him, and it was just the wheels there by Lopez. So a great little sequence there and series of possessions by the Pumas of Bisbee to bridge the gap to 1 point at 7-6.
A beautiful play like that can completely recover a team's momentum, especially with the way that they started off. That was great, and that was very needed.
Yes.
You can see with the 2-point conversion attempt that their playbook is very aggressive, very run heavy. We have not seen a pass yet.
And they may lack some faith in their place kicker, right? That might figure into the calculus here for head coach Brian Vertrees. But a great sequence from the Pumas of Bisbee High School to narrow this gap to 7-6. Well, it smells, I smell charcoal. Somebody's grilling with some old school charcoal. Have you smelled that? Have you picked up that aroma?
Yes, I do. I need to know where this is.
It's a tailgate. There's a tailgate across the street. I think it's down here toward the left corner of the end zone, the near, I guess, the lower right corner of your screen. Again, historic Warren Ballpark, erected in 1909, and we were waxing poetically about the great Bambino, Babe Ruth, who played here and launched a home run from the baseball field off in the distance behind us. Squib kick here, nicely fielded by the Benson Bobcat at the 45-yard line, who just scooped that one up and smothered it. And that was Trent Manzo. Manzo, a sophomore, very athletic, plays both ways, backup quarterback. He's also the placeholder on extra points for Benson, and he plays defensively at an outside linebacker position. So part of that hands team there, just a sophomore, number 6, Trent Manzo. 1st and 10 Benson from their own 45-yard line.
That squib kick leaving the Bobcats in very good field position to start their second drive, hoping to repeat the same results from the last one.
We've got a pair of wide receivers, one far side, top of the screen, one in the slot, one's near side to us. Dalton Crockett, hands off to Colton Tyra. Tyra, room to go, cuts it back near side toward us. Colton Tyra with one man to beat. Tyra to the corner, lowers the shoulder, out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
A beautiful run there, way to cut it back.
So 45 yards on the run by Colton Tyra, the senior, who has the Benson Bobcats' first touchdown run, but that was a big one for him. I like it. We're seeing some classic power football.
It's very nice. We like to see establishing the run game.
Ball's placed at the 6-yard line. Again, I've got that 45 yards on the run by the senior, number 21, Colton Tyra. He is flanked to the left of Dalton Crockett in the pistol. Crockett keeps it. Little stutter step here. Delayed quarterback draw and a touchdown for Dalton Crockett.
A great quarterback run coming up the middle. And they are really establishing the run game in these first few drives. Now, my prediction is that they are going to ease into the passing game as this goes on, trying to catch the defense slipping a little bit.
I think so too, right? You can go in two directions. You can start running or you can start throwing to open up either other option that you've got going for you. Here's Dawson Judd, the freshman, on the extra point. The kick is up.
And out of the stadium.
Yeah, through the stadium. So it's very close, right? It's about 10 yards from the goalpost to the back fencing here, which I think is like probably classic fencing at this historic baseball field, Warren Ballpark. So the extra point converted by Trent Manzo, or sorry, Dawson Judd, who is 2 for 2 here. The hold was by Trent Manzo, the backup quarterback. So it's now 14-6, Benson, after Dawson Judd's extra point. So a lot of action here, and the scoreboard operators have been very busy just clicking buttons to add points onto the board. So 14-6. The Benson Bobcats here very quickly. It was Colton Tyra, a 45-yard run, setting up the quarterback. Dalton Crockett, 6 yards on the delayed quarterback draw. And you see Crockett is a big handful here, Hunter Waite. At 6'3", 190 plus, he can just lower the shoulder at will. He's got good legs and wheels. He's very athletic as well. Good option to have for a coach there for Benson High School.
And you love to have a quarterback that can do it all, somebody that can
Like a
move
Josh
around
Allen.
on their feet. Yes,
Your guy.
exactly like Josh Allen.
Big win last night for Buffalo.
An amazing win. In fact, my voice hurts a little bit.
Well, you had a great jersey yesterday, and I'm ashamed at myself for not recognizing 83 from Buffalo, the Hall of Fame wide receiver Andre Reed, so prominently featured in those 90s Super Bowl runs. 4 consecutive Super Bowl berths for the Bills, Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, all those Hall of Famers there, but you were repping it last night. There's a blast of a kick here that is fielded at the 46-yard line, and I think that's number 69 from Bisbee. And I have so many players on this roster that I just do not have on my ledger, nor do I have it on the game program that's printed out by Bisbee. So I wish I had gone down and just kind of rectified and checked my roster with Bisbee's coaching staff to make sure we've got everybody on here. We're going to try to identify these players probably at halftime. So I apologize for that. I will take full responsibility for not having that information. But it's 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line for the Bisbee Pumas. Some movement there on that defensive front. And now you see Sebastian Lopez, the sophomore quarterback here with a hard count. Keeps it, option, thinks he's going to pitch it, holds on to it, spins, gets across to the 45-yard line. So a gain of 9 on the carry by Sebastian Lopez. Lopez a handful, very quick out there at the quarterback position.
Very, very quick. They love to bounce it outside. And if you know that this is a team that has only passed 7 times, I would imagine that you would try to stack the box here. Hopefully get a little outside protection too.
Well, you see it. You see the cornerbacks from Benson here playing pretty close to the line of scrimmage. A little bit of a cushion there just in case. And the quarterback here rolls out near side, and he is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And the tackle on the play is made by Benson's Tristan Goodwin. Goodwin's a junior, 5'10", 170.
A good contain on that run there as they focused on the outside containment. 2 men on him before he could get positive yards.
Yeah, great call, right? So you have him just kind of containing, like just keeping that space right there to make sure nobody gets around him toward the near sideline. It sets up 3rd down and 3. Brisk night here, 68 degrees at kickoff. It's 12 degrees cooler here in Bisbee than it is in Tucson, Arizona. Feels great. Feels like an October playoff game, quite honestly.
Beautiful weather out here tonight.
Handoff, and there's a defensive tackle there, getting great penetration, making the tackle at the line of scrimmage. That is one of the senior captains from Benson, Adrian Evans, 5'10", 190, plays right guard and defensive tackle for the Bobcats of Benson. And now it's 4th down, or turnover on downs. So 1st and 10 Benson from their own 46-yard line. And I agree with that call, right? You're in a good position to go for it at midfield. I suppose you could punt it and try to pin Benson deep in their own end. But I have no problems with going for it there.
Would have been a good idea to surprise them with a pass there, but I like that they're sticking to their run game. Very committed.
Boy, you could hear Dalton Crockett there calling it. Here's Colton Tyra across the 40. So a gain of 17 on the carry by Colton Tyra, the senior running back, 21. He's amassing big yardage here already tonight. He's already close to 100 yards on the evening, very early here. 2:45 on the clock, 1st quarter. The Benson Bobcats on top 14-6 over the Bisbee Pumas.
And let's give props to the O-line on that play.
Yes.
That was a huge gap to run through up the middle.
Yeah, well coached. They are just kind of methodically here, textbook, pushing their defensive line off of it here. Crockett rolling to his right, fires, great catch. Great catch to get the feet there in bounds at around the 22-yard line. And I think they're saying that he was out of bounds. I thought he had it, so incomplete there on that intended pass, but it looked good.
A great display of athleticism there.
Right? I mean, it seemed like he had it, but you see Crockett there, very mobile, rolling to his right. He's established himself as a running threat, so difficult to kind of defend against, and he's very accurate at quarterback position. So a good throw, right on target, maybe a little bit too high there, but a great attempt by Cohen Frost, 22, the junior wide receiver who plays the slot for the Benson Bobcats. 2nd down and 10. Crockett here on a keeper. Comes near side, holds on to the football, picks up 12, and a 1st down for Benson.
Again, a great play by the line, creating a big hole for the quarterback to run through, as he decided to keep it himself on that option.
Well, we saw one of the best running quarterbacks last night in the NFL, your guy Josh Allen.
Yes, we did.
So, you know, there's Mahomes, there's Josh Allen, there's Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. I would say those are probably the top 3 runners at the quarterback position when they feel like running. And we've got one here tonight in Dalton Crockett.
And Josh Allen actually adopted a new son last night. His name is Bobby Wagner.
Oh, gosh, golly. I wasn't sure where you're going with that one. Colton Tyra, right side. Room to go. Gain of 10, maybe 11. The chain should move forward here for the Bobcats. But it's been Tyra running at will. We've seen runners from both teams. The quarterback, Sebastian Lopez from Bisbee, very effective on the ground. And Colton Tyra, the senior tailback, number 21 from Benson, having his way here offensively in this opening quarter. Minute 18 and counting, opening quarter. Benson on top, 14-6. Bunch formation here, very tightly packed. Got a receiver going to the top of the screen. Crockett rolls to his right, fires! In and out of the hands. It was delivered on target there. And you see that receiver, Trent Manzo, the sophomore quarterback, who also plays wide receiver and linebacker, who's angry at himself. That's one that he catches, I'm sure, 9 times out of 10.
A very good play there, a motion to the strong side, turning it up into a post. He was wide open in the end zone. Very upset to not catch that, but that's something that you just got to shake off.
And Hunter Waite, we'll just kind of put your bona fides out there, your credentials, a wide receiver, formerly at South Point Catholic High School, freshman, sophomore, and junior years?
Just freshman and sophomore.
Freshman and sophomore, and then transferring to Cienega High School, coming in as a junior. And we've got the Puma here right in my face, and it's Colton Tyra on the run, and it's a touchdown here, 13 yards on the touchdown by Colton Tyra. I'll give a high five here to the Puma of Bisbee High School. Love to see it. Love this field. Love the community of Bisbee. What a special place this is. So Tyra, 12 yards on the touchdown run.
Again, a good run up the middle. Got to give a lot of credit to this O-line.
Yes. Extra point here. It's Dawson Judd, the freshman. He's 2 for 2 on extra points tonight. And he is 3 for 3. So extending the lead here with 52 seconds on the clock in the first quarter. It is the Bobcats of Benson High School, 21-6 over Bisbee.
They have been playing this game at their own pace, very effective on defense and offense, as they have been able to drive straight down the field on every single possession that they've had.
Good time for me. I'm going to throw some shout-outs there very quickly to Benson High School, the principal, Jeff Thompson. The superintendent of the Benson Unified School District is Micah Mortensen. So I just want to throw our very best out there to Principal Jeff Thompson, Micah Mortensen, the superintendent, and the staff and the students at Benson High School. So our intention with Bobcat TV was to broadcast their season opener, their home opener against Tombstone. It was biblical rains that Friday night. So we decided with Bobcat TV, Cienega High School, we can't risk our equipment getting wet. And the Bobcats of Cienega had a bye on their schedule tonight. That's why we are here producing this special broadcast between Bisbee and Benson High Schools. Squib kick here, takes a wicked hop at the 40, fielded at the 25-yard line. Nice return across the 35, so a return of about 10 yards there. Again, tough to identify jersey numbers here in the shadows. I think it was number 34, but I do not have that player rostered from Bisbee. So they may have added some cats here, the Pumas from Bisbee, in the last week or so. So a much fuller squad, a much fuller roster here, which certainly portends good things for them moving forward. For them, week 3. For Benson, they're playing their 4th game of the season. And it's 1st and 10, Pumas from their own 33-yard line. Tight formation, a pair of running backs. And Sebastian Lopez here on the quarterback keeper is met behind the line of scrimmage.
A great tackle and a great containment by the outside linebacker on that play. He was not fooled by anybody.
So number 43, Buck Garrett. Boy, it sounds like a Wild West name. Buck Garrett, the sophomore, number 43. Just a sophomore, 5'9", 170. Great penetration there and great containment, Hunter Waite, as you mentioned moments ago. 2nd down and 13. Seconds and counting here on the clock in the opening quarter, most likely the last play of the opening quarter. Running play goes up the middle, gain of 3 on the carry, and it takes us to the end of the first quarter with the Benson Bobcats leading 21-6 over the host Bisbee Pumas. Well, we drove through some historic landmarks, I would say earlier. We went through Tombstone. We actually passed through the site of the famous gunfight with Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday and those guys from, I guess, the late 1800s. And I know Bisbee was put on the map here because it's a location along the westward expansion train railroad lines. And mining, of course, is the focal point of Bisbee in the late 1880s, so part of the gold rush in the late 1800s, and not much gold in those hills in Bisbee, but plenty of copper. So I think it's what they call it, the Copper Queen community. And we've got a full moon across the way there, Hunter Waite, that has just emerged out of the clouds here.
Wow.
In the darkness. So we've got a beautiful vista. We've talked about Warren Ballpark being this historic site and venue. Babe Ruth played here. I think Lou Gehrig was part of that traveling group of players from that era. And a lot of those players from back in the day, the baseball players, made more money in the offseason going on barnstorming tours. They'd go from city to city, community to community, just playing like basically pickup baseball games with major leaguers, drawing huge crowds. And of course, we talked about Babe Ruth. I had to stand in front of that backdrop and tried to place myself where I thought Ruth may have stood and just kind of looked out beyond where we're sitting here at about the 40-yard line near side, just to kind of imagine what he was thinking when he was here playing probably in the 1920s, maybe the 27 Yankees, Murderers Row, one of the most famous lineups in all of baseball history. So now we're going right to left here, the Pumas of Bisbee, 3rd down and 9. Sebastian Lopez. And he keeps the ball to the near side. He'll pick up 4 yards on the play, and it will make it a 4th down and about 5 to go. And this could be a situation, again, where Bisbee goes for it.
Yeah, that offense is not leaving the field. They're looking to convert this 4th down as they desperately need points before heading into halftime.
Just opening things up here in the second quarter. We've got 11:25 and counting on the clock. I would expect a hard snap count here by Sebastian Lopez trying to draw one of those defensive linemen from Benson offsides. And now it looks like they're moving into a more conventional position and most likely here going to punt the football. And I think we have some movement there on the offensive line. Delay of game. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty. Probably makes it a little bit easier here for Coach Brian Vertrees to just punt the football now.
And if they weren't punting before,
most likely now.
We're going to see it now.
Michael Coronado, number 5, appears to be back there at punter for the Pumas. And again, he's got some wind here. So wind going kind of lower right corner of your screen directly across to the upper right corner. So maybe a slight cross breeze going near to far side. Might want to angle it to the far right corner. High punt here. Eclipsed by the moon there for just a moment. Takes a bad bounce and is downed. It's a punt of about 10 yards net here. Downed by Sebastian Lopez.
That is great starting field position for the Bobcats as they walk out onto the field.
Yeah, you're starting in Bisbee territory at their 47. So that could factor in here to the play calling calculus on 4th downs. You've got something 4th and short, you might go for it, right? With a 10-yard net punt there, may have shanked that one.
Yep, and they are looking to extend their lead to 3 scores. as they start to slowly try and push this game further and further away.
Aiden Finch near side at wide receiver, a play to look out for. Colton Tyra gets the handoff. Stutter step up the middle, big gain for him. About 20 on the pickup by Colton Tyra, number 21, the senior, who's certainly over 100 yards here tonight, Hunter Waits.
They have had absolutely no answers for Colton Tyra so far. Got to give good credit to that O-line, but he's been able to run straight through.
So Gavin Strauss is flanked out to the far side. You've got Cohen Frost in the slot near side, and Colton Tyra a handoff. And he looks like he loses his footing, but a gain for him of about 6, maybe 7 yards on the carry. Very effectively here, running the ball are the Benson Bobcats. All in white, going from left to right here in quarter number 2. Again, if they want to try to go for a pass option, their biggest target is number 11, Aiden Finch, the senior receiver, 6'3", 175. Talked to his brother pregame. I've got to find my notes here. Older brother Taylor Finch, class of 2016, played for the state title back in 2015, and then later started at Pima Community College at wide receiver and defensive back. At 6'8", his big brother, Taylor Finch. Here's a pass to the far corner. Receiver there going stretched out. And a touchdown.
A beautiful diving catch in the corner of the end zone and a perfectly placed ball.
So 20 yards on the reception. It's Dalton Crockett to number 22, Cohen Frost.
As they extend the score to a 3-score game now 27-6, do you think it's time to start establishing more of a passing game for the Pumas here?
I just don't know if that's in like what they do typically, right? So their identity would have seen statistically, again, watching no film of them coming in, they're a run-heavy, run-oriented team. And I mean, I know that you've got to try to climb back in this one as the extra point is up. Boy, a long delay there among those officials. It took a long time. And eventually, it is good. So Dawson Judd, the freshman here, is perfect on extra points as the Benson Bobcats extend their lead to 28-6. But Hunter, to answer your question again, I don't know if that's something that they could do so easily. I mean, it sounds great, right? You want to try to get back in the game, but if they're more run-oriented and more run-focused, it might be hard for them to try to dial up some passing plays. But they're looking on the a really difficult ledger here at 28-6 with 9:19 on the clock in the second quarter. But a great pass play there, a great call there offensively. And it was Dalton Crockett to Cohen Frost, 20 yards on the pass reception. You saw Frost going out there, fully extended on the reception, hitting the turf, and able to hold on to the football very impressively for a great catch.
A beautiful catch.
Chapman and Michael Coronado set to receive for the Pumas.
Wicked squib kick here by Dalton Crockett, fielded at the 5-yard line. Nice little nifty move here by the returner, who brings it near side. A nice return. And it was number 14, David Chapman, the junior kick returner, wide receiver, punt returner, defensive back, on a great return here to give some nice field position to Bisbee. I want to put a shout out there very quickly here. First to Robert Alvarado, the head groundskeeper at Bisbee, who was just terrific pregame, and had the pleasure of talking to Alexa Hernandez, the sophomore English teacher, who is also in charge of the yearbook at Bisbee High School for the Pumas. So we will be collaborating with her. Nick Irvin and I will be talking with her about how they can stream here at Bisbee High School. Not difficult to do. Well, easy for me to say. Nick Irvin is the wizard here who runs everything. So if I can do it, anybody can. But Nick Irvin is the man with a plan. Running here to the left side. Gain of about 7, maybe 8.
7-yard gain for Diego Chavez.
Diego Chavez, the senior running back, 5'10", 195 on the carry. Sets up 2nd down and 3. Run play goes near side. It's Sebastian Lopez on the carry. Picks up 2. It'll set up a very short 3rd down and 1.
So you can hear the eager fans.
That's
here.
right. Everyone's, well, not everyone, but we have many offensive coordinators who just happen to be fans everywhere we travel. And we also have officials who are often among the crowd anywhere we travel as well. So 3rd down and 1. I think he picked it up there. So a ball carrier going to the right side between that center and guard on the right side. It's Diego Chavez, the senior, who does pick up the 1st down.
Diego Chavez picks up 2 yards, Puma, 1st down.
3rd and 1 there. Are you surprised with what they went with?
No, I'm not. I think we're going to see just kind of old school smash mouth football here from the Pumas. They love to run the football. And, you know, it makes sense. And then if you can sprinkle in a pass, a little play action pass to maybe catch the defense sleeping a little bit, that could be very effective for them here too. So 7:25 on the clock. Benson on top, 28-6. Handoff. Carrier is hit there behind the line of scrimmage. Great 2nd and 3rd effort, and now a scrum of tacklers taking down Bryson Meyer, the sophomore fullback. Meyer is 5'10", 185. And that's his 13th carry on the season. Averaging 3.2 yards per carry. Also has a couple of receptions for 13 yards on the year. Again, Bisbee coming in 1-1 on the year. They opened with a win 16-6 over Santa Cruz Valley. Last week they fell 10-8 against Douglas. A defensive game. Here's a pass going down the far side. See some good arm strength there. You've got a defender number 3 in Flint Davis, who locked his man up, Pio Valenzuela. Valenzuela, the junior wide receiver, 5'11", 150. But we saw some good arm strength there by Sebastian Lopez. So, Hunter, I think for Bisbee, sure, open it up a little bit. You've got the wind at your back as well.
And you can see that they definitely have the potential. The quarterback, Sebastian Lopez, dancing around in the pocket before delivering that pass. You can see that he's very capable.
Yeah, very nimble. So he's already established himself, again, as a running threat. Now showing the arm strength here. Keeps that one near side. Is smothered by a couple of defensive tackles from Benson.
I actually think that might have been a play action there, but he bumped into the running back as he was handing it off.
Jace Carroll, the senior, number 44 on the tackle. Ryan Anderson, number 52, the senior defensive lineman, also converging on the tackle. So Jace Carroll, Ryan Anderson, and it's now 4th down and 6. And I think here, Bisbee certainly going for it based on their last punt attempt, which was very short. And also the score might be dictating a little bit to them what they're going to do. And now they call a timeout. So take a little bit of extra time here. I like the call. So you've got Coach Brian Vertrees and Daniel Vertrees, assistants, Daniel Barrow, Dwayne Barrow, Adrian Borquez, and Robert Coronado. They can all kind of dialogue here and try to draw up a play that will give them the yardage they need to move the chains. But I like the call, and I like them calling a timeout here. You want to make sure you're getting your best possible play call out there, give your players the best possible chance to be successful, and move those chains forward.
And it's good to give the players a little break, time to think and catch their breath before this important 4th down.
Yeah, very important here for Bisbee.
Coming with 5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, it is essential that they put points up on the board.
Again, pretty breezy, and it's brisk. Temperature at game time at kickoff was 68. and it's getting a little bit cooler than that. Thankfully, Bobcat TV out here tonight. All of the Bobcats from Cienega High School, everybody brought a hoodie at least. But we've got Samantha Truffaut-Knoll with shorts there, and she will not make that mistake again. And your guy, Dakota Nettles, right next to you here, who was our switcher, also got the shorts, but he's a wrestler, so we know that he can go through and endure like physical pain like almost unlike any other athlete. The wrestlers, I think, are the pound for pound, the strongest, the grittiest. They endure the most pain and punishment of any sport in high school.
Those are some very nice booty shorts, Dakota Nettles.
Oh boy. So quarterback here on the bootleg going to the far side. A phalanx of blockers here, and he picks up 7, maybe 8 and a first down. Very nicely drawn up play. And the quarterback again, Sebastian Lopez on the bootleg. Very effective running the football tonight.
A good run for the first down, and they go back to all reliable, bouncing it out to the outside.
Yes. And you could move that in different directions. You can go far side, you can go near side. You can have guards or tackles that are pulling to try to lead the way. But we saw 2 or 3 lead blockers there just blistering a path and create an open lane there. Very easy for Sebastian Lopez, the sophomore, 6'1", 165, with great speed and quickness, able to pick up the first down. So 5:20 on the clock here, and the Pumas now are on the march. Lopez back to throw, near side, and I think that's a reception right in front of us here at the 35-yard line. A great job to pull that one off the turf by David Chapman. So the junior receiver there on the reception gets the fans energized here.
A low throw, but a great catch on the comeback.
Absolutely. So he had both hands down there scooping it between the turf and the football.
7-yard reception.
7 yards on the pickup. The head linesman right here. The ball was right in front of him on that play. So he scooped it in and said, yes, that is a complete pass. 2nd down and 3. Pumas on the march. Quarterback spins. He's got some room now. Near side. Excellent run there by Sebastian Lopez.
And a great run to the outside. He just found the gap and took it.
16 yards on the run. It was Lopez running into a wall of defensive tackles, able to spin it out near side. He had open space. So a gritty run here and an excellent drive by the Pumas of Bisbee, giving their fans some great life here with 4:21 frozen on the clock. And you see Dustin Clough across the way, the head coach from Benson, calling a timeout, trying to get his defense here on the same page. But very encouraging here for the Pumas,
as they are hoping to cut that lead down to a very, very manageable 2-score.
Yes, you just want to whittle away at it here. No need to try to go for everything, the kit and caboodle all in one drive. You can't do it. You just got to kind of keep chipping away. Keep doing what you do. We've seen them now sprinkling in the pass very effectively. And we've seen, again, their quarterback, Sebastian Lopez, on the bootleg in particular, very effective when he gets out in open space. A nifty, nimble, agile ball carrier with great wheels. I smell, it smells like s'mores. I smell, the slightly charred smell of a marshmallow. Are you picking that up as well over here?
Yes, yes, I smell that. And I'm hoping it's close because I would like to make a trip during halftime.
Just feels like a tailgate here at Bisbee. Warren Ballpark, the historic site. 1st and 10, Pumas. And we've got whistles now on the field by the officials. All right, so I was confused there by the gestures by the referee, but it's a false start going against Bisbee. 5 yards on the penalty. Makes it 1st down and 15 yards to go. Ball's at the 24-yard line of Benson. Lopez on the keeper far side. He's got a tackler draped over his shoulder pads. Tackle made by number 25. And I don't have that player on my roster, although I know I filled it in earlier. So just missing that player. We'll try to find out who 25 is from Benson at halftime. I got a couple of players from Bisbee and at least one now from Benson that I shall identify hopefully at halftime. So 2nd down and 14. A pair of wideouts near side to us for the Pumas. Sebastian Lopez, handoff goes to the left. Looks like that was to the fullback. And maybe a gain of 4 on the carry. So it will set up a 3rd down and 10, maybe 11. And the carry was Diego Chavez picking up 4 yards. So the senior tailback. And it's now 3rd down and 10. And again, I think 4 down territory here for Bisbee with 3:11 on the clock here in the 2nd quarter. Down 28-6 to Benson. We have 2 wideouts near side toward us. Michael Coronado, the sophomore, and flanking him is David Chapman, the junior. Quarterback here, quarterback versus quarterback. So Sebastian Lopez on the carry and Dalton Crockett on the tackle. Lopez 6'1", 165. Crockett 6'2", maybe 6'3", 190, maybe more than that. And you heard the jarring hit there of pads to pads.
And way to be physical on the play, but
yes,
ultimately not enough to where they need to be. And the offense stays out on the field as they're looking to go for it on 4th down here.
4th down and 5.
Why not?
Yeah, big 4th down here.
You're here at the 14-yard line, might as well.
Yeah, and a field goal does very little, right? A field goal would bridge the gap to 21 points. And now another timeout here. And I love this call, right? Again, make sure that you're on the same page. Earlier in this drive, we had Coach Brian Vertrees calling a timeout, making sure that he had time to consult with his coordinators, call up a play. It was very effective. That one was a bootleg, I think, to the far side with 3 or 4 blockers kind of leading the way for Sebastian Lopez. And we'll see if they dial up a passing play on this one. So 2:05 frozen on the clock. Again, a beautiful night and I think a full moon. It appears to be full by my vision here across the way. Historic Warren Ballpark, constructed, erected in 1909 and renovated in 1939. And we've already talked about Babe Ruth. And I'm just trying to think of other players of that era that may have been part of that barnstorming tour. I just don't have that history available at my recollection, unfortunately. So 4th down and 6. Big play here for the Pumas of Bisbee.
Looking to get their 2nd touchdown of the game with the final 2 minutes here on the 2nd quarter, hoping to drop this deficit down to 2 scores.
Lopez under center. Oh, he bumped into his man. Quick option
Pitch
pass
back
there. And he bumped with one of his blockers. So inadvertent contact there. Bryson Meyer just had to smother the football. It was a little bit low on the option pitch, but that momentum of him, Lopez, swinging out toward his right side was stopped very abruptly.
Yeah, and that hit might have threw him off a little bit. He was supposed to carry that out a little bit more, and it caused some more distance between him and the running back that he was pitching it back to.
I like the call, though. An option is very difficult to defend against. And just a little bit of miscommunication there and unfortunate contact. It looked like there was a fullback who was moving up there to kind of block between the center and guard on the right side, and just unfortunately colliding with Sebastian Lopez, totally throwing his timing and his momentum off. So Benson, a big defensive stop here, deep in their own end. Dalton Crockett looks to throw, checks down to the receiver in the near flat, and the ball is caught with plenty of room going down the sideline.
Oh my God.
From his own 16. So this will be an 84-yard touchdown catch and run by Tristan Goodwin. Just on a check down, a screen basically out in space. 84 yards on the reception by Tristan Goodwin.
A beautifully set up play there, and a miscommunication on the flat coverage there. And a messed up tackle, which unfortunately led to an 84-yard touchdown. And the Bisbee Pumas that were hoping to cut this deficit down to 2 scores now have extended it out to 4 scores.
That's a tough one. Tristan Goodwin, the junior, just did a great job there of threading the tightrope here near side. He was maybe 6 inches inside the sideline. And the extra point here is up and converted by Dawson Judd. So the freshman who came into the night 4 for 8 is a perfect 5 for 5 on extra points tonight. So 9 for 13 now in the season. And boy, that stat looks a lot better than 4 for 8.
An overall impressive game plan by the Benson Cougars so far.
35-6, so a little bit demoralizing here. It takes some of the wind out of the sails, even though we've got a nice breeze here going from near side to far side. But a tough sequence of plays there. You had the Pumas who were in striking distance and just some unfortunate contact there. A little bit of misdirection on the option play. It totally threw off the rhythm and timing of Sebastian Lopez, who was forced to pitch with no momentum and a very low pitch to his ball carrier. And then you see that it was a check down. So you had Dalton Crockett, the junior quarterback from Benson, who was looking downfield. And then he went through his progressions, went through his reads, and near side in the flat, he just saw lurking there Tristan Goodwin, and Goodwin catching and sprinting 84 yards on the touchdown reception.
As the Bobcats are now playing this game at their own pace, a very successful half for them so far.
Yeah, no doubt. So Dalton Crockett, a pair of touchdown throws, 20 yards and 84 yards on back-to-back possessions. He's also got a 6-yard touchdown run. And he kicks off here. And that could be a penalty on the tackle. So just going out of bounds there. A good tackle in coverage by number 12. That's Hank Fenn. He's a sophomore from Benson. A good return there from David Chapman, who's had a couple of nice returns here for Bisbee tonight. So 1:41 on the clock, second quarter, and Benson extending the lead here to 35-6. So again, if Bisbee were to put a touchdown on the board here, that would be a huge lift for them going into the locker room at halftime. Got a flanker here coming to the near side. That's Pio Valenzuela. And on the far side, it's David Chapman, who just had that nice return for Bisbee. Running play goes to the right side. And it's just a couple of yards there for Sebastian Lopez. Actually a loss of the play, loss of 1.
And with 1:30 here, desperately needing a second score. As you can see, this team is not looking very motivated so far.
Yeah, it's just tough, Hunter, right? So, I mean, you know, they started off with a rough possession on the opening kickoff, right? Remember, it was Benson on the opening kickoff, and they recovered the opening kickoff on a squib kick down the field. It bounced off 2, maybe 3 Bisbee Pumas, and was ultimately recovered by Benson, who went down and marched methodically. Here's a pass play near side. Receiver wide open.
Wide.
There's a great catch by David Chapman, and Chapman, 67 yards, touchdown. Pa-pow!
That's what they needed. Taking it back to a 3-score game, a touchdown, and that could be the spark.
That was a great play. So a great throw there by Sebastian Lopez, and David Chapman, the junior wide receiver, with great wheels. A great job to catch that one. The biggest thing is you're so wide open on that one. It's just like, all right, catch the ball first and then just keep sprinting. And he did exactly that. 67 yards, the electrifying touchdown reception from David Chapman off of the pass by Sebastian Lopez. And boy, that brings everybody back to life very quickly.
Oh yeah, people are standing up in the crowds here. And you might think it's easy to catch those wide open passes, but it's very important that you don't get in your head.
Lopez rolls to his right here, threads it back up the middle, and a good tackle in space by Benson's number 50, Sam Martin. Martin, the sophomore. So the conversion fails, but a jolt of electricity here, exactly what this Bisbee Puma crowd needed to bring some energy back into the house.
A score that was very needed before halftime. Going into the locker room, discuss the game plan, come out stronger with a different set.
Absolutely. Very good, very good. So 47 seconds on the clock here, second quarter, and it's 35-12. But great to see, right? So you've got a quarterback in Sebastian Lopez that we've seen on a couple of past plays. He's got a good arm strength here. We know he's got the wheels. And just a perfectly dialed up play and a great reception by David Chapman, bringing some energy back into this home crowd at Warren Ballpark. So Benson has a pair of receivers or returners waiting at their own 25. You've got Flint Davis, the sophomore, number 3. And you have number 5, Dawson Judd, the freshman place kicker, who's out there ready to return as well. And the kickoff is a little bit of a squib kick, a little bit of an onside kick. Nicely returned, or recovered, I should say. Recovered by number 24, Hunter Rogers. So Rogers, just a freshman. Great job there to just receive that and just don't go anywhere. Just smother the ball, retain possession. Again, Bisbee with good field position at their own 43-yard line. 1st and 10 from their own 43. 47 seconds on the clock. And I wonder, Hunter, if Benson coach Dustin Clough here tries to put another quick strike on the board to try to recapture some of that momentum that was lost just a moment ago.
Oh, they're definitely looking to extend that back out to a 4-score lead as they go into halftime.
Aiden Finch running a post across the middle of the field, just off of his right hand. Good coverage there late. And a pretty accurate throw there by Dalton Crockett. Again, it was a deep cross. Again, Finch is the receiver to look out for. And great coverage by Sebastian Lopez, the quarterback, who's also doubling defensively in the defensive secondary for Bisbee. Good coverage there late.
Just slightly ahead of the receiver there, but luckily that stops the clock with 40 seconds left. Obviously manageable here.
So yeah, trying to pick up some big gains here in the passing plays for Benson. Not content to go into halftime with a 23-point lead, trying to add on. Trying to move the chains again, trying to get things moving offensively. Looking at a passing formation, 2 wideouts top of the screen, 1 near side. Finch is near side to us. Crockett rolling to his left. Squares, throws, fires. Off of the intended target, it was number 13, Gavin Strauss, the junior wide receiver, who came back for that one. Again, accurate again. Crockett has been highly accurate here tonight. Both quarterbacks have been very accurate. So again, the crew. So this is a special production tonight from Sienega High School's Bobcat TV. Nick Irvin is our director, the man with the plan. We have Bailey Irwin and Samantha Chufo-Knoll down on the field. Irwin is our reporter. Hunter Waite making his debut tonight beautifully on Bobcat TV as our color analyst. We've got Dakota Nettles here, who's our switcher, a senior and a wrestler.
Sir.
Hunter Waite, our senior as well. Kirsten Larson is running the technical direction tonight. We have Nick Powell on camera, Jessica Schoonover on camera, and Dalton Crockett going all the way
Blown
here near side.
Coverage.
And the ball is complete. It's Colton Tyra, 56 yards on the touchdown catch. There is a penalty marker down on the far side of the field. We'll see how this shakes out. So Colton Tyra wide open, a lapse in coverage here near side. It'll be 56 yards if it stands on the touchdown reception. Tyra from Crockett. You've got everybody waiting here with bated breath. Let's see how this one shakes out. Interesting their spot of the flag. It could be an illegal block down the field. It could be an illegal pick or a screen. It could be a defensive, illegal use of hands. This one could go in a myriad of directions. We'll have to see how it shakes out.
This could be very deciding for this game.
Yeah, the referee and the umpire who are conversing here. You also have an offensive lineman, Ryan Anderson, who is there talking to the official. And they're walking down toward Bisbee's defensive end. So that tells me that this penalty will be against Bisbee. Oh, they're calling a touchdown.
Not to mention a beautiful play call there, with a play action rolling out to the left when the running back was the only man on the right side of the field on a wheel route.
Yes,
wide open.
A classic wheel route. Very nicely done. Nick Irvin's nodding here in assent. Coming into tonight, we're very excited to have Hunter Waite here on color. His background as a player at wide receiver in particular, it's paying dividends tonight, no doubt about it. So 56 yards on the touchdown catch. Tyra from Crockett. Low snap here on the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good and perfect tonight. The freshman, Dawson Judd. 42-12 with 23 seconds on the clock here in the second quarter. So 3 touchdown passes for Dalton Crockett and a touchdown rushing for him tonight as well. It's brisk. It's a brisk evening. September the 9th, right? So I'm going to throw this one out there. Sunday is September 11th. So it would be the 21st anniversary of the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Towers and the Pentagon. I know a 4th plane was hijacked, intended to be targeted for the U.S. Capitol building. Those passengers on that flight learned about that and decided, they voted and decided to overthrow and overpower the terrorists, and that plane crashed in a cornfield in Pennsylvania. But I want to throw my my very best out there as we remember those who were lost in that unfortunate tragedy on September 11th, 2001. And we just ask our viewers and listeners out there to take a moment on Sunday and just reflect on that date and what it means to be an American, and that we are unified together as a people. And nothing like adversity can bring a nation together, and we were so united in that time, in the hours and the days after that terrorist attack on September 11th. So I just wanted to put my very best out there to all the first responders, EMTs and firefighters and police and local law enforcement, as well as the men and women who are serving our country, both here and abroad, defending liberty and freedom across the globe. We want to put our very best out there and remember to never forget September 11th, 2001.
Absolutely necessary to take your caps off to the first responders, risking their lives to save as many people as they can.
A lot of those firefighters who rushed into the World Trade Towers without thinking. They were just responding what they were trained to do. And some of them perished on that day as the towers collapsed, and some of them had some lingering effects from what they breathed in on that date. And many of those first responders had some lung issues, and I know it was like cancer-causing carcinogens that they were inhaling, and they never thought about it. New York City's finest, fire and police rushing into the World Trade Towers. So never forget that. And, you know, one of my favorite moments would be World Series Game 3, Yankee Stadium. President George W. Bush throwing out a first pitch, a strike. That was such a moment, one of his greatest moments of his presidency, and that really kind of united people, inspired confidence, and it reassured people that, you know what, we've been through difficult crises in our past before. We're Americans, and we can get through this together. And again, I think a message that is so important in 2022, that we as Americans have so much in common, and when we come together to come up with solutions, there's nothing that we can't overcome.
Absolutely not.
All right, very good. So we are going to go to a break at halftime. 42-12, Benson, the Bobcats of Benson High School, on top going into halftime over the host Bisbee Pumas at historic Warren Ballpark here in Bisbee. We will take a halftime break. We'll be back in about 15 minutes if you want to synchronize your watches at home, and we'll be back for the second half of action right here on Bobcat TV.
And without music. Cheer squad. Coach Pierce would like you to try again with another attempt at some technology, functioning technology. But hats off to you for doing it well anyway. A big round of applause to these Bisbee cheerleaders. Nicely done. Nicely done. Our Lady Pumas would like to give a huge shout out to the Verhouse Recovery House for a very generous donation to the BHS cheer team. The Verhouse
All right, back in action from historic Warren Ballpark in Bisbee. And we're going to go right down to the field with Bailey Irwin for a sideline report.
Coming into halftime, Benson is in the lead, 42-12. We've seen some amazing passes by junior quarterback Dalton Crockett. 3 thrown touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. We've also seen senior Colton Tyra have 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. This is a great sight, and we've seen some incredible things by Bisbee as well. Back to you.
All right, very good. So I got some stats here. So a great job there by our senior reporter, Bailey Irwin, and then Samantha Chufo-Knoll, one of our sophomores there, running camera down on the field. Jason Miller along with Hunter Waite. Hunter, I've got some stats from halftime, just stats from Benson. I was talking to their statistician. So Dalton Crockett, 4 of 8 passing, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also has 4 carries for 28 yards and a 6-yard touchdown run for Dalton Crockett. For Colton Tyra, the senior running back, he has 9 carries for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he also has 2 receptions for 66 yards, including a 56-yard touchdown reception. Tristan Goodwin, number 28, had an 84-yard catch and run on a flare pass in the near flat. And Cohen Frost has a 20-yard touchdown reception in the far corner of the end zone where he was fully extended, hitting the turf on a sliding catch.
A beautiful catch. And a basic summary of what happened in this first half was the Bobcats completely controlling the ball on offense and defense. Now, a thing that the Pumas want to work on here is controlling the time that they have with the ball. Not only that, but watching on all aspects of the defense.
And we'll see here if Bisbee tries for an onside kick to open things up here in the second half, or if they go the more conventional route. Had some difficulty here getting some distance on their kickoffs, and you see here out at the field, Coach Brian Vertree is here talking to one of the officials. Not sure what that conversation was about, but we are set to kick off here in the second half. And it's a squib kick going right down the middle of the field. Caught on the fly, going to the far side across the 40 to the 45. Good tackle in open space there on special teams by the Puma. I think that was number 2, Bryson Meyer. Oh, Juan Pablo Navarro, number 7, the junior there in coverage on special teams. So number 7, Juan Pablo Navarro, the junior, special teamer, wide receiver, defensive back and running back. And it's 1st and 10 Benson in the white uniforms, white jerseys, white pants, red helmets. They've got the blue accent there on the sleeves, and they're going from left to right at their own 45-yard line.
Yes, and if I'm the Pumas head coach or I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm telling them that they need to focus on all sides of the field, not just rush to the ball. So as you can see, they blew their coverage a few times in the first half, following the ball when they should be watching their zones.
Got a delay of game here opening up the second half for Benson. And I'm sure, Hunter, it's easier to say than to do. You've got so much open space out there.
Oh, yeah, it is.
We did see a couple of coverage lapses that stood out for both sides.
A lot easier said than done. But when you are in a zone coverage like that, it's important that you watch your side, because that could be covering multiple people.
And you also played defensive back as well?
Yes, I was a safety. So
safety and wide receiver at South Point Catholic, freshman and sophomore year. You transferred to Cienega as a junior.
Yes, I did.
What are your career plans? What are you thinking about doing after high school? We were looking at your resume. I mean, I wasn't meaning to pry a little bit, but there was a folder. I opened it up and I was like, oh, Hunter Waite, and he's got his resume in here. Very impressive. We're going to add Bobcat TV, color analyst or commentator, to your ledger of experience as well.
Yes, well, I am looking to go to a 4-year college after high school and hopefully starting my real estate investing business.
Oh, kaboom. You're going to make so much money. So when you get wealthy and famous, you can contribute small donations to Bobcat TV. We're always looking for funding. So I'll throw that out there to the public as well. If you want to make a charitable contribution to Bobcat TV at Cienega High School, the smallest amounts would be very much appreciated and welcomed.
Hey, I'll get the boys some new helmets to get them some F7s.
Those pennies and dollars
Save
add
a few
up.
concussions.
So if we can buy a new tripod or a new camera or any kind of equipment or hardware, just know we're trying to elevate the coverage with Bobcat TV at Seneca High School. We're here tonight on a special broadcast as guests, just trying to elevate and promote the student athletes of both of these two wonderful communities, Bisbee, the Pumas, and Benson, the Bobcats, here on Friday night. So we've got a timeout. Did you see who called timeout?
I did not.
No, not sure. Sometimes the scoreboards kind of have that information and sometimes they don't. But it's a brisk night, and boy, do I love it. This is my kind of weather. So putting on my my future plans, maybe moving to Bisbee might be part of my future, Nick Irvin, because it's so much cooler down here than it is in Tucson.
You know, it's a really peaceful city. And, you know, coming from this hot summer that we always get, I'm just really glad I brought my jacket.
I'm so glad I brought a sweater and a jacket. And, you know, if it's this cold, maybe a pair of gloves. I know that sounds crazy to people, but it's 67 tonight, a balmy 67 here in Bisbee. We had a beautiful day. We did some nice touring through the downtown area. Took a great view and a look there at the mining operations in Bisbee, which is what this town was founded upon in the late 1880 really. And it was a gold rush that stimulated the migration west, and the railroad lines running from the east to the west coast, part of that expansion, westward expansion for history students out there. And we saw the evidence of the mining that has taken place here and built this community. Copper mining primarily, not much gold in those hills here in Bisbee, but certainly copper built here, and now tourism. And it's a very artistic community as well that's very favorable for the arts. And we also saw 96.1, the local FM station here, which is a public radio station. So got to see the inner workings of that, which was fascinating as well. So we've had a wonderful trip here with Bobcat TV. It's our pleasure and privilege to bring this broadcast tonight between these two sterling schools, the Bisbee Pumas and the Benson Bobcats.
You know what? The trip here actually was a pretty scenic route.
Yes.
Being able to see Tombstone and the OK Corral.
Yes.
You know, all the historic events that happen there. You know, a lot of famous cowboy stories from there. You know, Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Johnny Ringo.
Two great film adaptations, Tombstone
Yes,
being one and Wyatt Earp being the other one. Different films.
A great movie.
I'm more partial to Tombstone myself.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I love
oh,
Val
yeah.
Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday. I'll be your Huckleberry. So there you go. Great actor. So a long time out here, and we got the officials all converged there at the 40-yard line.
It's something over there. I don't know what that is. See that? They're all huddled over there with the AD.
There's something happening
A
across
possible injury?
the way.
I don't know. It seems a little.
Difficulties?
We're not sure. We're completely speculating here. There may have been like a collision where a coach or somebody on the far sideline.
I think it's some sort of chain issue.
Oh, okay, very good. So Nick Irvin here believes that it is a chain issue, something that's happening here with the yard markers on the far side of the field.
Yep, I think the chain detached.
And it looks like they've resolved that issue now. So we're looking at, after that long delay, it was a delay of game here to open their possession by Benson. So it's first down and 15 from their own 40-yard line. Dalton Crockett in the pistol.
The crowd here cheering defense as they're amped to see their Pumas
Aiden
step out
Finch
on
running
the
near
field.
side here in motion. Now it's a go route here to Finch near side. Finch, the reception. He held on to the football, and I think he's got both feet in. We've got the linesman here on the near side, and he's saying that that one's out of bounds. But it was Finch coming in motion from far side to near side. Again, number 11, the big target at 6'3", and his older brother, oh man, Taylor Finch, class of 2016, at 6'8". We talked to him pre-game. And Taylor Finch, who played for the state championship back in 2015, also later started at Pima Community College. He looks like Alex Verdugo a little bit, the outfielder for the Boston Red Sox. So, you know, shocking red hair, a nice beard. Great talking to him pregame. And his brother Aiden out there, one of the star receivers for the Benson Bobcats. Finch goes in motion toward the far side. Crockett back to throw. And Finch just a little bit past his outstretched left arm. He had a couple of steps there on that little route coming toward the near side, and just slightly overthrown there by Crockett. But they're trying to target Finch now offensively at wide receiver. Great hands. He's back there on punt return for Benson. And I know he plays other sports. I think basketball as well. So basketball, I think he's a guard, because I thought he was like a high-flying wing, and he's like, no, I'm a point guard or a shooting guard. I think a point guard.
And that was a really beautifully drawn play.
Right.
It's a basic thing, but it works. It's a flat and a corner, and it's meant to split that flat, confuse the coverage. You know, it's two different options.
And it takes a little bit of time to develop too, doesn't it? You have to wait for that.
Yes, it does.
That later receiver that's kind of crossing. I guess one's kind of going toward the inside, one's coming toward the outside. Just takes some time to develop.
And a good route. He split the top safety and the flat beautifully, just a little bit overthrown.
Very nice. So it's 4th down now and 14 to go. Again, a blustery wind. It's going kind of lower right corner to kind of far center of your screen. And the Bobcats here going for it on 4th and 14. Low snap, and now it's a punt. So very cleverly done there by Dalton Crockett, who's also the punter. It gets a beautiful roll. This one's going to roll all the way down to about the 3 or 4 yard line where it's down. So you like to see this, right? And Dustin Clough, his background is as a special teams coach. He had to give it that responsibility, taking over the head coaching position at Benson. But he says it just kind of gives your team a lift. Special teams can be so important. And that was a very beautifully done punt by Dalton Crockett. Again, coming into the game, I think averaging 43 yards per punt. And there's a beautiful roll there, and it pins Pima deep in their own end where they have 1st and 10 at their own 8 yard line. And
a very good adjustment by the defense at halftime, coming out and getting the first punt of the game for the Bobcats here. Now this is exactly what they need to start this comeback.
Well, it's dangerous here for the Pumas, deep in their own end, and tough for us to see across the way. Sebastian Lopez under center. Handoff goes to the left side. Positive gain there. 4, maybe 5 yards on the carry. And Diego Chavez, the senior, on the carry. Picks up 5. So it's going to be 2nd down and 5 to go. Actually 6 on the carry, so 2nd and 4. Again, let me hit the crew. Well, I guess after this play, I'll hit the crew from Bobcat TV, students who are broadcasting for us tonight. Handoff to the right, now bounced up to the left. Tackle on the play, I think by Liam Clough, number 26, the junior. Diego Chavez, the ball carrier, picks up 3 and sets up a 3rd down and 1 yard to go. The crew from Bobcat TV, Nick Irvin is the director of Bobcat TV at Seneca High School. We have Kirsten Larson, who is running the technical directing. We have Dakota Nettles, who is switching the camera angles and shots. Hunter Waite, our senior color analyst. We have Bailey Irwin, our sideline reporter. Samantha Chufo-Knoll, who's shooting at us here from the camera down in the field. Nick Powell is our sky cam. We have Jessica Schoonover on the other field camera. And we're from Seneca High School, producing a special broadcast tonight on Bobcat TV. So the carry here, it's going to be very close to that 1st down marker. There's a pile of jerseys on top of the carrier. And nice sportsmanship here. Dalton Crockett giving a hand up to the carrier, Diego Chavez. And he picks up 2 yards and a 1st down here for the Pumas.
He's limping a little bit there after the play.
Tough.
But you see them go with all reliable again, out to the outside to secure the 1st down.
Yes.
I like to see them implement just a little bit more of a passing game. They were doing well passing in the first half towards the end, and that's how it led to that score that eventually could get them back into this game.
Yeah, and Sebastian Lopez, their sophomore quarterback, again, with tons of potential here, doing so well as a sophomore. Great running. We've also seen the arm strength. Back to throw now and scrambling for his life. Under pressure, comes near side. Great cut to the inside. hit by a couple of carriers, but picks up maybe 12 and a first down here on the carry. A great scramble by Sebastian Lopez. First down, Pumas.
And that's the scramble drill that coaches like to teach you. I mean, he had 2 D linemen, and he looked like he was in some trouble there at first, but he did a very good job at bouncing that out and taking the yards that he could get.
Sebastian Lopez, he is nimble, he is quick, and bouncing it to the outside for 12 and a first down. Good momentum here now for the Pumas. Again, they were pinned very deeply in their own end.
Dude, these shots are good. I'm telling you.
I want to thank Nathan East here, who gave us a great shout out, I think in the chat here.
Yes.
So complimentary here. We really appreciate your feedback. Usually the comments we get in the comment section are negative, so it's always nice to get one positive comment there, Mr. East. So it's been our pleasure from San Diego High School. You can thank Nick Irvin, again, the man with the plan here, and it's our privilege and a pleasure to be out here broadcasting tonight. So thank you so much for those kind words. It means more than you know, sir. It really does. Second down and 4. 7:52 on the clock. Sebastian Lopez. Little option pitch there. Errant pitch, and I think it's recovered by Benson. So it just bounced off that left shoulder pad. And look who it is. It's Dalton Crockett, Mr. Everything for Benson, who is the quarterback, who is the punter, who is the kickoff specialist, who also plays defensive secondary, and he comes up with that fumble recovery here. Wow, just an errant bit of a pitch. I think it was off the left shoulder pad of the ball carrier. A tough one.
That's really heartbreaking coming out in their first offensive drive of the half. That's a good momentum switch as the Bobcats start here at excellent field position.
Yeah, and they've got a pair of wideouts near side and one to the far or the top of the screen. Crockett here, low snap, hands off to Colton Tyra. Tyra stutter step here, low center of gravity. Does a good job to pick up some positive yardage. Maybe 8. Maybe 9, actually, on that carry. Very close to the first down marker. So 9 yards, actually 10. They're saying it was 10 yards and a first down. But boy, Tyra very effective running the football. A Nettlesome ball carrier, if ever there was tonight here for Bisbee. Again, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half, in addition to 2 receptions, 66 yards, and a 56-yard touchdown catch. But a big night here for the senior. Crockett keeps it, pushes forward on his right. Again, a huge specimen at quarterback at 6'3", I think heavier than 190, and solid as a rock. Again, he crushed my hands, Hunter Wade, in the pregame. Just wished him good luck, shook his hand, and I just kind of had to smile like it didn't affect me. But he wasn't intending to. He's just a big, strong kid, and and I'm pretty weak, so he crushed my right hand. So second down and 4. 6:45 on the clock here, third quarter. And the Bobcats of Benson are driving. A pair of wideouts to the far side. Trent Manzo, a player to look out for. Near side, Aiden Finch. And it's quarterback on the draw, delayed. Boom, boom, bullying and pounding his way. Very close here to the goal line. 13 on the play, and the ball's down at the 1. So first down and goal from the 1-yard line. Boy, Crockett, what a handful he is. And how impressive, Hunter, for a quarterback, right? You have so much responsibility on your shoulders, literally there at that quarterback position. Also playing defense, and you're going to punt and be kickoff guy.
Oh, yeah, playing 100% of the game, that takes a lot of effort, and it's really tiring.
Wow, low snap, and doing a good job to reach down, catch that one, hand off. Colton Tyra, 1-yard touchdown run for the Bobcats at Benson High School.
Yeah, first down there on the 1-yard line. You expect nothing less of it, just to dive up the middle, see what you can get.
Colton Tyra's dad, I think David, and I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that on the name, but his dad was a great player at Benson High School as well. So 1-yard touchdown run here for Tyra. And then here's Dawson Judd. And that one I think it may have been partially blocked or deflected on that one. So he was perfect tonight, and that extra point failed. But 48 to 12 here for the Benson Bobcats.
A 36-point deficit for the Pumas here. Coming out on offense. Hopefully they can drop this lead down to a little bit more manageable. Now it is only the third quarter,
sure.
so don't count them out yet.
Plenty of time, right? So 5:55 on the clock here, but it's a tough mountain to climb here now for the Pumas of Bisbee. And for Benson High School, a great job here just bouncing back to this point. Again, a tough game last week against their rival Wilcox. They fell 56-25 in week 3. And I knew coming into tonight that Benson would be extra motivated coming off that difficult loss to get things moving back in the positive direction. So they're 2-1 coming into tonight. They beat Tombstone at home. We were down there, a game we intended to broadcast, but it was torrential downpour of rain, and they won 20-16. They won against Santan Foothills from Queen Creek 21-14 in week 2, and then they fell 56-25 last week against Wilcox. Now here they are in week 4, very impressively 48-12 with 5:55 on the clock.
Yeah, and you can tell that they're definitely motivated to come back and make a statement after a big loss like that. That has a big effect on a team.
Yes.
You know, and I saw the kids before the game. They were there, and they looked motivated. They looked like they were going to play with a purpose tonight.
I watch pregame warm-ups. I always do. I like to watch how teams come out, whether they come off the bus or whatever the situation might be. I like to kind of read how their preparation is, how their mental focus is. They were completely dialed in during that pregame warm-up.
Oh, yeah, and they've been 100% successful. They've punted once, scored on every other drive.
And conversely, a majestic entrance to this field here from Bisbee's Pumas, who had the full escort, the police, the fire, the EMTs,
yes.
right? All of our first responders, like the people that we're so thankful for in our communities locally. Boy, we heard all these sirens, and I was like, oh boy, like this might be like some sort of
chase or
some sort of incident, but no, it was just a grand entrance here.
See the school bus rolling up. You could hear him from 3 miles away rolling up here.
I like it. I like the energy. It's quite a way to make an entrance, no doubt. So second down and 8 yards to go. 5:20 on the clock, third quarter, under a full moon. Handoff up the middle. A gain of 6, maybe 7 for Diego Chavez, the senior running back from Bisbee. And it will set up a third and about a yard. Love those uniforms too from both schools. Bisbee's very reminiscent of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Super Bowl champions 2 years ago with Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski.
You know, the gray and the red, it's basic, but it's a nice colorway.
Yeah, it's a good combination. Sebastian Lopez on the carry, picks up 2 and picks up a first down here for the Pumas. I like those red helmets with the capital B for Bisbee. I also like the uniforms from Benson. They've got red, white, and blue. Mostly white tonight. Red helmets as well. And both schools have great logos, both the Pumas and the Bobcats. They really kind of stand out as striking logos. Great job from Nick Irvin doing the pregame graphics for our broadcast as well. Nice option pitch. There you go. Exactly. So exactly how you want to run it there. And it's Bryston Meyer, the sophomore, on the carry. And he picks up 8.
If it doesn't work the first time, do it again.
Yeah, try it again until you get it perfect, right? And I think it's so effective at any level, really, when you can run that option perfectly and kind of time it out. It's difficult for defenders to kind of read, well, is the quarterback going to keep it or is he going to pitch it to the running back who's kind of trailing him? And if you have a couple of blockers in front of you, it's very effective and difficult to stop. So 8 yards on the pickup, perfectly run and executed. Option play, option pitch right. 2nd and 2. Little play action here. Looking to throw down the middle. He's got a receiver. Oh, it's through the hands. Target was Xavier Montiel, the sophomore. A good throw there by Lopez. A great play fake to kind of sell it. They've been running so much, right? It opens up play action passing. Tough one, and maybe tough kind of this. I'm looking at the lights here, Hunter. My glasses are all jacked up, so it's tough for me to kind of look in the lights, and it may have affected his reception. But it looked like a good throw on target there by Sebastian Lopez.
And you could see the cover 2 on the defense, so that was a really good play by the offense, running the seam up the middle, completely split the defense. That was just a little bit off by the receiver, but a great ball by the quarterback, stepping back in the pocket, throwing a nice, calm pass.
And you see Lopez here talking to David Chapman, the junior, who's had a good night receiving. He's on the far side, top of the screen. 3rd and 2. Lopez back to throw. Steps into the pocket. Fires. He's pumping deep to the corner. There was some contact there between David Chapman and Aiden Finch, who was there in coverage. And you've got some fans here, I think, rightfully upset about that. A little bit of jostling there. A good throw, just a little bit outside of the reach of David Chapman. And now it's 4th down and 2. And certainly Bisbee will go for it.
This aggressive playbook
they
have.
They're opening it. You asked for a little bit more open. They've certainly opened it up here in the second half.
What is kicking?
Right. No need to, right? So outside of field goal range, I would imagine no good to punt here. And we'll see if they go more conservatively here on this 4th down, 4th and 2. Sebastian Lopez under center. I think we're going to have a timeout called here by Benson. Dustin Clough. He kind of surveyed the offense, didn't like what he saw defensively, and will make a slight adjustment here coming out of the timeout. But I like the call here. Just like the offense we've seen with Bisbee tonight, taking timeouts on important 4th down calls. Now you've got Benson's head coach, Dustin Clough, in year 1, calling a timeout to dial up the perfect call for defense.
This is a very important drive here. This is a very important conversion because if something needs to happen, it needs to happen now. From now on, there is no more room for mistakes for the the Pumas.
The Pumas of Bisbee.
The Pumas of Bisbee. Yeah, like I said, do not count these guys out yet.
So I want to thank, and I'll put it out here, Principal Darren Giltner, Athletic Director Albert Echave, and Director Echave reached out to him when we were sure that we would be able to make this trip here tonight. So not much like lead time for him. It's like, hey, we'd love to come down and produce this game for you tonight. Is this something that you'd be willing to allow? And he's like, yes, absolutely. So very, very curt answer. Most athletic directors are pretty economical with their words. He's like, absolutely. Thank you very much. So we really appreciate, and we're so thrilled to be down here tonight. It's been an honor. 4th and 2. Big call here for Bisbee. There it is, offsides.
Oh,
hard snap count. Nice way to get a 1st down. Very difficult for the defensive end there, right? Very eagerly kind of jumping the gun. And looks like it was number 80. I do not have 80 rostered, nor did I remember to pick up the players who I'm missing on my rosters for both teams. So I was too busy getting stats from halftime.
That is a very useful penalty for the Pumas there as they get the 1st down.
Yeah, and some great moxie there from Lopez, just a sophomore, right? So just a hard snap count, and it's so hard for those defensive linemen to not jump. They got their ears pinned back. They're ready to attack. 1st and 10, Pumas. Run play goes up the middle. Good tackle made on the play. I think it was 44, Jace Carroll, the senior linebacker. And it looked like a tough handoff there between Lopez and Diego Chavez, who I think was the ball carrier on that one. Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. .225 on the clock, 3rd quarter. And the Pumas are on the march. Handoff goes to Diego Chavez, the senior, churning those legs forward. Picks up 3, and it sets up a 3rd down and 3 to go. Again, I mentioned it earlier. I've got to mention it again. Babe Ruth played at this field, Warren Ballpark. I'm a huge Babe Ruth fan. He changed the game of baseball just by his prolific home runs. A great pitcher for Boston Red Sox, traded to the New York Yankees, a great Red Sox, a great Yankee, Hall of Fame player, longtime home run king, eclipsed by Hank Aaron, the true home run champion, who I will always put in that class. Not Barry Bonds, not anybody else. It's Hank Aaron who is the home run king. Great scrambling here by Lopez. Coming it back near side, cuts it back upfield. Boy, what a great run by him to pick up the first down inside the 10-yard line, where the Pumas will have 1st and goal from the 8.
And as you can see, that was a very great play by the quarterback to evade 3 tackles that were coming at him. The line collapsed pretty fast, almost instantly on that play.
Flag down. It's going to be holding here going against the Pumas. It's too bad because that was just a nifty carrying there by Sebastian Lopez. He looked like the Silver Surfer there, just kind of like surfing his way through space.
Well, still, that was a very good play by him, a great display of athleticism.
So it comes back now. It'll make it 3rd down and 13. 3rd and 14. So they've been effective here on some big pass plays, and they've had some really promising looks. And Lopez, very accurate at quarterback. And again, difficult to contain. So anytime he kind of wheels out on a bootleg roll, it buys him some extra time. 3rd and 14. Michael Coronado, number 5, at wideout near side toward us. Lopez rolls to his right. Nice job there picking up that blitz. And he fires a strike. And a good catch there to pick up 8, maybe 9 on the reception. And it's Xavier Montiel, the sophomore receiver, making a nimble catch.
And on the 4th down, as per usual, the offense is going absolutely nowhere.
So 4th and 5 now.
And it's good to see that they're finally establishing the pass. You know, these play actions, they're expecting the runs. This was the perfect time to implement it. And look where they are. They're moving downfield.
A great pickup there on the block by Bryson Meyer, the sophomore number 2 at running back, who picked up a much bigger rusher. I think he picked up Evan Anderson. Anderson at 5'10", 195. Meyer at 5'10", 185. But he looked bigger than that. So 4th and 5 here. Big play for the Pumas. Handoff goes left side. It's very close. If that carrier reached the football across here, the 20, and it might be a measurement. I think he's got it. It's very close here.
Oh, that doesn't look good. Nope. He's not going to get it.
So no measurement, right? It looked really close from where I'm standing and looking at the first down marker across the field.
No, it's on the other side of the 20-yard line.
So just short.
Just short, maybe by a few inches.
And that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. So after 3, it's Benson 48, Bisbee 12.
A 36-point deficit still as the Bobcats continue to completely control the tide of this game.
Interesting. And for Bisbee, right, looking forward to next week, they're playing Veritas Prep at 7 o'clock on the road at Veritas Prep. And then on the 23rd, they're playing NFL Yet High School. So I know nothing about that school, but that is a home game on the 23rd, and then they'll take on Wilcox at home on the 30th. Now, Wilcox is a very formidable opponent. Again, they took care of Benson last week, 56-25. So that will be a very difficult matchup for anybody on their ledger. And then for Benson, they have a tough matchup on the road against Push Ridge Christian Academy, which is a powerhouse school in 3A for football, I think across the spectrum of athletics, just north of Oro Valley, I think north of Oracle a little bit. I forget the road that takes us north there through Oro Valley toward Oracle. But Push Ridge Christian Academy awaits the Benson Bobcats. So I want to wish both teams best of luck, both Bisbee and Benson moving forward here as we open the 4th quarter.
And as we see number 4, Diego Chavez, getting checked out by the athletic trainer on the sideline. Let's hope he's okay. He is the lead tackler for the Pumas.
Yeah, I definitely want to throw our wishes and our thoughts out there to Diego. Diego's played very well on offense and defense. Crockett firing far side, connects with Aiden Finch. Finch with a stiff arm and lowers the shoulder, picks up 13 on the reception. So Aiden Finch has, and I was told this kind of pregame, so he has a tattoo of a finch, a type of a bird, on his right bicep. His older brother Taylor has the same tattoo. So a very interesting and a unique tat there, both on the right biceps. All right, so 1st and 10 here. Nice catch and run there by Aiden Finch, senior wide receiver, also a star on the basketball team. One of the captains for tonight. It was Dalton Crockett, Aiden Finch, I think Ryan Anderson, 52, the senior linebacker, offensive lineman, and Adrian Evans, the right guard and defensive lineman, another senior there. Colton Tyra, who's been so effective tonight running the football for Benson, picks up 9, sets up 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and the fact that they've been able to control the ball so well, not only in the air but also the ground, to keep the defense guessing, that's probably the biggest reason that they've been able to extend this lead out as far as they have.
Yeah, they've been pretty balanced offensively and defensively. 2nd and 1, Dalton Crockett rolling to his left, squares, throws, fires, off the right hand, intended target number 12, Hank Fenn. Fenn is a sophomore. Well-placed football. I mean, it was as close as it could be. Just a little bit tough there for Fenn to make that catch.
And you know, with this wind, it can get pretty hard to arch that.
Yeah, it was like a perfectly touched pass, maybe just a little bit too strong for Fenn to reach out and make the touch, but Fenn going all out off of his outstretched right hand, incomplete. I want to throw a shout out there too. I don't know if she'll ever get this, but Audrey Palma, I would say, is a dignitary in Benson's community, and she is I think for 39 years, has not missed a practice for Benson High School football, nor a game, nor a home game. So I think 84 years old, Audrey Palma. I want to throw my very best out to her. Our intention was to interview her during week 1, but we were rained out, or at least Bobcat TV was rained out. And we certainly hope to make a trek down to Benson maybe later in the season or maybe next year, and we'd love to interview her on camera. But a very affable, I would almost say like the unofficial mayor of the city of Benson. So I just want to throw my very best out there to Audrey Palma, wonderful woman. She also has a scholarship program where she gives scholarships to student athletes from Benson. Here's Colton Tyra with a head full of steam and some nifty cutting here, picking up a big play. About 27 yards on the carry by Tyra, who has run with aplomb tonight.
Another great run by him, and it seems like every time he touches the ball, they're moving those chains.
Making something happen. Very nimble ball carrier, very shifty, very elusive, able to dart and dash this and that way at 5'6", 150. Relatively low center of gravity. We see this in NFL and college football all the time. Those running backs, those scat backs, are so difficult. They get lost sometimes among the offensive defensive linemen who are so huge in stature. 1st and 10, Bobcats from the 25-yard line. Quarterback keeper, it's Brax Clough. Clough picks up 7, and Clough is a freshman. He is quarterback maybe 2, maybe 3 on the depth chart. But it looks like Dalton Crockett might be finished playing offense and playing quarterback tonight.
A solid run there. Again, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line here. They've been amazing at creating these gaps for not only the running back but the quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. So left tackle is B.J. Essenmacher, the junior. Left guard, Ryan Anderson, the senior. Center is Colton Poulos, the senior. Right guard, Adrian Evans, the senior. And right tackle is Sam Martin. They've been dynamite tonight. Very effective at pushing and bowling forward. Tough carry here by Dawson Judd. Judd, you know his name because he's the place kicker. And I think he's 5 for 6 on extra points. But also they're showing that he can take a hit at 5'8", 150. Picking up a first down here for Benson. 1st and 10. 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. The Bobcats have a pair of wideouts near side. Aiden Finch on the top of the screen. And Brax Clough, the freshman at quarterback. Clough keeps it. A little play action there. He's smothered. A good tackle out in space. Is that 60, number 60 or 66? I think that's Luis Valdez from Bisbee. If it's 66, hard for me to read those jersey numbers across the way. A little bit of shadow over there. But a good tackle out in space by the Puma.
And with good field position and complete control of the game, I don't expect to see much passing here from the Bobcats, as they're just trying to chew this clock and come home with a W.
So Brax Clough, the freshman at 5'3", keeps the football. High tackle there. Caleb Peterson, number 6, the senior on the tackle. Corralled Clough. Again, Brax is 5'3", 115. A featherweight, I think, in boxing. Of course, he's going to continue to develop physically and put on muscle mass throughout his high school career. Son of Coach Dustin Clough from Benson. So certainly a student of the game. I'm sure growing up with football terminology, probably dissecting film, maybe helping his dad, like Bill Belichick helped his dad dissect film in his early coaching career at the Naval Academy. So 3rd down and goal. The ball is at the 8-yard line. Clough rolls to his left, the lefty. Fires toward the corner. Touchdown. Pass is complete. It's Matthew Evans, the freshman, at wide receiver. So the freshman connection, Brax Clough to Matthew Evans, and I'm sure that that's Brax Clough's first touchdown pass, and probably Matthew Evans' first touchdown reception. So a freshman connection there from Clough to Evans.
Yeah, just go ahead and scrap everything I said about no more passing, because I get the game plan here is just to continue digging this grave.
Yeah, pedal to the metal, wide open throttle offense here.
I mean, you know what? When you're within the 10, why not?
Dawson Judd here, line drives that one through for an extra point. And it's 54-12 with 7 minutes on the clock. So, Hunter, you probably know this. With a differential of 42 points or greater, the clock shall continue to run. The only times it will stop is if there's a timeout or an injury or the play goes out of bounds. Other than that, we'll have a running clock here, so the rest of the 4th quarter should go pretty quickly, I would imagine.
And yeah, with that score, I'm going to say that the comeback here for the Pumas is looking shorter and shorter.
But great effort here. And I think some things that they can use to build upon as they move into next week's matchup, heading on the road to Veritas Prep. A little bit of Latin there. Mr. Irvin probably knows that Veritas is like the truth, right? Doesn't Veritas mean truth in Latin?
Sounds right.
Veritas.
Sounds right.
Sounds like it, right? They say it's a dead language. I wish I had taken Latin in high school. So useful in medical and law professions, no doubt. All right, here's a kickoff. Field at the 12. Head full of steam here across the 25, across to the 40. And a great return. I think it was number 12 on the return, but I cannot see. Maybe 14, maybe David Chapman, who's got some good wheels. Either way, it was a great return here by the Pumas, putting them up in nice field position, 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
And you know, these Pumas were just a few mistakes away from making this a very close game.
Right.
They had the right idea, and I like that they came out and they used the fact that they ran the whole entire half to establish a play-action passing game here in the second half. It was a very effective game plan. And like I said, it was just a few errors, a few drop passes, a few fumbles away from being a close game here. So they're on the right track.
And a tough start, right? Remember that opening kickoff that was not fielded cleanly. It resulted in a possession for Benson to open things up, and Colton Tyra, a 1-yard touchdown run. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 receiving. Dalton Crockett, we knew, was a big-time quarterback coming in. I think he had 4 touchdown passes tonight and a rushing touchdown, also making some big bone-crunching hits on defense. So we expected those 2 players to have big nights. We also expected Aiden Finch, and Finch had a couple of good looks Not quite the night I expected from him, but he's a big-time receiver, and he will be key for them moving forward. Again, a big game next week against Push Ridge Christian Academy on the road. So it's going to be a couple of tough matchups for both of these schools, both hitting on the road. Again, Bisbee taking on Veritas Prep at Veritas Prep, 7 o'clock, of course, game time. And Benson, the Bobcats, heading off to Push Ridge Christian Academy. Again, game time, 7 o'clock. So best of luck to both schools next week and beyond. It's been a real privilege and a treat for us to be out here tonight calling this game.
It's great to be out here in Bisbee. And looking past the score, you can see that there's talent on both sides of the ball, easily.
Now, let's talk college, right? Arizona, University of Arizona, a big win last week at San Diego State. Hosting tomorrow night Mississippi State. Last week just set me up for like a lot. And I don't know if Arizona is that much improved or if San Diego State is just down this year or a combination of those things, but that's the best game, the most crisp game I've seen the Wildcats of Arizona play, I think, ever. And this is for me for about 25 years in Southern Arizona. So, fingers crossed for the Cats tomorrow night at home in their opener.
Yes, we cheer them on, and it looks like that franchise is making a great turnaround.
Jed Fish, year two.
See a lot of potential in that team.
A lot of talent. I know their recruiting class was highly touted as well, and a lot of transfers. I think grad transfers from other programs to Tucson to play for the Wildcats. So I want to wish Coach Fish and all those Cats the best of luck tomorrow and also moving forward. 1st and 10, 4:20 on the clock, 4th quarter. Quarterback on the rollout. In traffic, stutter step. Gain of 15 yards on the carry by Sebastian Lopez. And I wonder too here, Hunter, if you're down by 43 points, you're under 40 minutes, and that was my concern here, was when do you go to your backups to try to keep your starting quarterback safe and healthy? And we've got Sebastian Lopez down here at the 40.
And as much as their game plan was working,
he's holding, it looks like he's gesturing toward his right shin or right ankle. And obviously in discomfort there on his back. So good to see him moving, certainly. Able to gesture to the training staff here from Bisbee. Maybe cramping, hoping it's very minor. But we see cramps here, especially early in the season. And it looks like that trainer is kind of like trying to massage here below the right knee.
Yeah, and especially when you play as hard as these players, especially some of the ones that play on both sides of the ball, you know that this is very physically requiring. The game of football itself is very physically requiring, and we pray that he's okay.
Yeah, we do. So Lopez, quarterback, star quarterback here at Bisbee, also defensive back with some good plays and some big hits. So just give these kids, both quarterbacks from both teams who go both ways, so much credit. So looks like they're kind of trying to manipulate here that right leg.
And you're right with what you talked about. I mean, with 4 minutes left with this deficit, you should not be running as frequently as they are, especially with a quarterback. You know, that's what your entire offense is based around, and it's important that you keep that guy healthy.
All right, here. It looks like he's going to get a hand up, and we'll be watching very closely here. So walking gingerly here on the right leg. And again, we want to put our very best out there to Sebastian Lopez, his family, friends, and teammates. Just hope it's minor. Maybe it's a little cramp there on the right calf. Maybe a twisted ankle. But good to see him trotting off here. So that is very encouraging. So I want him at 100% next week. And again, wishing them the best against Veritas Prep on the road. So that might be it for him tonight. Get a scare like that, and it's like, okay, like maybe we should get somebody else some reps here. And let's see who takes over at quarterback. It's going to be Bryson Meyer, the sophomore here at quarterback. Oh, actually it's a low snap. Bobbled and dropped. And actually, Michael Coronado is at quarterback number 5. And he comes off as quickly as he was on the field. And now replaced here by Sebastian Lopez. So 3:11 on the clock, 4th quarter. Second down and 10. Historic Warren Ballpark, where the Sultan of SWAT once played. Babe Ruth back to throw. Throws far side, ball's complete. First down and more. Gain of 16, maybe 17 on the reception. Tackle on the play made by Dawson Judd.
Reception good to Pio Valenzuela. That'll move the chains for the Pumas.
And that was a good throw there on the hitch.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I had the wrong player, the wrong team. Pio Valenzuela on the reception there for Bisbee. And we see Pio on the far side, the junior wide receiver, flanked out far side. Go ahead, Hunter.
You can see the defense here is playing a bit more relaxed, just trying to prevent maybe a late touchdown. Nothing too heavy, so that was a good throw on the hitch there.
Nice
and
throw.
a good completion here too.
Wilbert Maxwell, number 84, the senior tight end on the reception. Complete from Sebastian Lopez. Chains move forward here on a first down. Ball is spotted at the 14. 1:40 on the clock and counting, fourth quarter. Lopez rolls to his left, fires to his right. Great job there on the reception, pulling that one off of his shoelaces. And a touchdown catch of 14 yards on the reception.
A great throw, rolling out to the left and hitting the man on the drag across the field.
Juan Pablo Navarro, 14 yards on the reception for the junior wide receiver. Great strike there from Sebastian Lopez.
The backup can do it too.
Well, there's no quit in this team, so that is so admirable to see these Pumas from Bisbee going from opening whistle to closing whistle. 100% energy, 100% effort here. Very admirable performance from these Pumas.
Yeah, and again, ooh.
Incomplete there. Good throw, difficult one to catch there. Very low, close to the ground. Tried his best there on that slide to come up with that one.
Yeah, and again, putting the score aside, there's been a very great display of talent on both sides of the ball.
Yep, certainly. The intended target on that one was Pio Valenzuela, the junior receiver. A little bit low. Again, the level of difficulty on that catch was super high. So 1:19 on the clock here. The clock will stop momentarily. Then the kickoff shall run. There might be a play or two or three, and that should close it out for tonight. But we just want to thank again Bisbee High School for their hospitality and generosity. Everybody that we encountered was just fantastic tonight. So we want to wish head coach Brian Vertrees the best of luck in moving forward with his season. Principal Darren Giltner, Athletic Director Albert Echave, thank you so much for your hospitality. It was just a real privilege and a pleasure to be out here with Bobcat TV. And then again, I met the groundskeeper who is dynamite, and that is Robert Alvarado, and Alexa Hernandez, the sophomore English teacher and also in charge of the yearbook at Bisbee High School, who we will collaborate with in a future broadcast with Bobcat TV, 100%. So 1:14 and counting. Stay tuned for post-game interviews. We're going to go down to Bailey Irwin. She'll have a couple of Bobcats from Benson, and we also hope to talk to Coach Dustin Clough post-game as well. So be sure to stay tuned for those post-game interviews. Sebastian Lopez, back to throw, fires near side, pass complete. Receiver, a little nimble stutter step there, and it was caught by Juan Pablo Navarro. Good tackle out in space by Trent Manzo.
They're taking advantage of that prevent defense, just hitting him with little 10-yard hitches, and a great move there to extend that play.
And a timeout, I think, taken here by Bisbee. So trying to get maybe 1 or 2 more plays here. Why not? Give it a shot. Go for broke. Try to have a big play toward the end zone. And again, I think you're just trying to build some positive momentum going into your match next week at Veritas Prep. So 30 seconds on the clock. And you guys drive safely. So Hunter, you and Dakota Nettles, great job here tonight on switching, right? Let me hit the crew. Nick Irvin gives me the thumbs up. Nick Irvin's our director from Seneca High School, Bobcat TV. Bailey Irwin, our field reporter. Also, Samantha Chufo-Knoll running the camera down on the field. Jessica Schoonover running another camera down on the field. Nick Powell is our guy on the high sky cam. We have Kirsten Larson running, I think, graphics or technical directing. Hunter Waite making a great debut tonight as our analyst on Bobcat TV. And I'm Jason Miller. We really want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight and hope that you enjoyed our coverage of tonight's game. 1st and 10. Sebastian rolls to his left, fires to his left. In and out of the hands. Intended target was Juan Pablo Navarro, who's been active here, especially late in the 4th quarter. The clock continues to run, so 20 seconds and counting. Maybe 1 snap left here for the Pumas of Bisbee High School. You see the receivers here quickly getting to the line of scrimmage. 7 seconds now. Sebastian stands, throws, fires. Near corner, deflected away. So a good defensive stop there by Brax Clough. So Brax here finishing with a flourish. The son of Coach Dustin Clough. He has a touchdown pass to his ledger, complete to Matthew Evans, a fellow freshman. So the future is bright for those 2 freshmen, Bobcats from Benson High School. Final score 55-18. And again, stay tuned for post-game interviews. Hunter, any last thoughts from you here? Because we're going to go down to Bailey Irwin with the post-game interviews, and then we'll just probably wrap it there from down on the field. But you did a great job here tonight as an analyst.
Well, I appreciate that. And I do think that both teams did play very well, looking aside from the score. And we got to see a very dominant performance from the dual threat with the Bobcats with, we got Dalton Crockett at quarterback,
And Colton Tyra at running back. That's quite a tandem there in that backfield for Benson. That will cause matchup headaches for teams going forward. I know Push Ridge, they're probably going to look at this broadcast like starting tomorrow morning. I know how coaches operate, but they're going to try to devise a way to slow down Crockett and Tyra. That's a dynamic duo in the backfield for the Bobcats at Benson High School.
Oh yeah, that is going to be a very interesting film day for the Pumas. Best of luck to the players.
Yes. Yeah, I want to thank, Eric Tatham is the athletic director at Benson High School, and he's a colleague of mine from Cienega, a longtime standout, I would say, excellent teacher in the English department, and one of the best softball coaches in the entire state of Arizona, if not the country. Micah Mortensen is the superintendent of the Benson Unified School District, and Coach Dustin Clough in year 1 at head coach for the Bobcats of Benson. So it's just been a real honor. Again, I've said it many times tonight. Want to wish Coach Brian Vertrees and the Pumas of Bisbee the best of luck moving forward, starting next Friday at Veritas Prep. Great game. Very impressed tonight with the quarterback, Sebastian Lopez, as a sophomore. His grit, his wheels, his arm strength, him defensively. I mean, they've got a leader there as a sophomore that they can build this program around, and he will only continue to grow and develop as he moves forward throughout his high school career.
Yep. All around, a lot of talent on the field, and best of luck to all the players.
All right, so we're not signing off, but you won't hear me or Hunter Waite anymore tonight unless I interview Coach Clough, and we're going to have post-game interviews with Bailey Irwin down on the field. So stay tuned for that, and don't go anywhere.
What an incredible win by Benson tonight. I'm here with Dalton Crockett and Colton Tyra. All right, so you were on fire tonight. What was going through your head?
Nothing really. Just trying to get a win from last week since we lost to Wilcox. Got to come back and play hard.
All right. Also, can you talk about the offensive line and how they helped you tonight?
This week I appreciate them and all they do, and yeah.
Thank you. How does this win feel coming into the season?
Feels really great. I think the team really needed a win like this after last week, but I think we got here and we did the job and we did very good.
And what were the keys to your success of the game?
I have to say the D-line, the O-line. Our line blocked beautifully and they opened the gap up right for me, and I just ran after they set it up. So
thank you.
All right, sorry, great game. Coach, come on in here. All right, Coach Dustin Clough, what does tonight's win mean for you, your boys, your program? Difficult loss last week against your rival Wilcox. Difficult matchup next week against Push Ridge. But I was so proud with how you guys battled here tonight, very impressively.
Yeah, we looked at it last week. I mean, there's always something you can learn from a game like that. Not taking anything away from Wilcox, they're a great team, and we tip our hat to them, and we learn, and we get to go on. We chose this week for our character trait was resolve, and that was one of the things that we wanted to see from a physical test like that. How are your boys going to respond? What are they going to do? And we put in 4 great days of practice. Kids got to work on watching film. Coaches sat down, spent a lot of time game planning. You know, Bisbee's a good football team. They got a great athlete. Their quarterback, tailback, great athletes. They have some size, some speed. So we knew coming in here that it was going to be a difficult test. We just got ready and gave these boys a challenge, drew a line on the ground and said, let's go, let's get after it, you know, and they responded. It was awesome.
Your offensive line was very impressive tonight. I mean, opening up lanes here for Colton Tyra, your great senior running back, your great quarterback, had a great night as well. Can you talk about your tandem there at quarterback with Crockett and Tyra at running back and the offensive line?
Well, I just think one of the things is, you know, what we're trying to do, this style of offense is very, very reactionary. We really look at what the defense is trying to do. We see where the numbers are, whether it's outside or whether it's inside the box, and just how Bisbee was playing tonight. It just gave us the opportunity to run the football, and Colton responded in a big way. He was very emotional last week in the game against Wilcox, and he definitely put in the time this week in practice and practiced really well. He started running the ball really well. His vision has opened up. He even caught the ball tonight for a big pass, big gain on a touchdown, and he just really has come alive this week. And I think a lot of that has to do with the confidence that he has in the guys up front blocking for him. The ability that he knows that Dalton can throw the ball down the field and really open up the field, stretch it horizontally and vertically, and it just really gave us a great opportunity to go out and do some great things.
And your son Brax had a nice night tonight. I'm sure that's his first touchdown pass at the varsity level to one of his fellow freshmen. I can't read my own notes here. Matthew Evans on the reception. What does that mean to have 2 freshmen here converging on that play?
I just think it's awesome that these young kids get up here and be in the environment. They get to be around these older kids and know what this is like, so they have something to look forward coming in the future. Brax, even though he's my son, he continues to amaze me. He's one of those kids that you can never dodge anybody on their size. He's going to show up and he's going to play hard, and he makes us all very proud. All the coaches are proud of him, and his teammates are proud of him. And Matthew's one of those kids that literally just is a sleeper. The kid just shows up and does great things, and if you underestimate him, he's gonna make you feel bad. So. Just really, really good. We love the youth. We love that these kids can step up and play in a big way, and they understand the expectation, so they're ready to fill in.
And your kicker, your freshman Dawson Judd, was just excellent tight on extra points. Tell me about his improvement at the place kicking position.
He's one of those kids that doesn't really stress out. Dawson's always been somebody that just rises to the occasion. He's one of those kids, and he had one miss tonight, got a little pressure, but other than that, he was perfect. And then even when he got the opportunity to kick off here at the end of the game, kicked a beautiful one down the field. So he just keeps getting better every week.
All right, Dustin Clough, congratulations. Boy, Benson, you have a great head coach here. Not just a great coach tactically, but a coach who cares about the kids. I've noticed a couple of times, I love you guys. I've noticed you say that to your boys. And Benson, you're lucky to have this coach at Benson High School. So best of luck to you at Push Ridge and beyond. Coach Clough, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good night, everybody. Bobcat TV shall return next Friday night at home as the Bobcats of Sienega High School host Millennium. Same cat time, same cat channel for the whole crew. Good night, everybody.